So good evening, everyone. First of all, my name is Billy, and today for the news for this evening, we will make a special report that highlights the growing crisis in West Kalimantan. The Kapuas River, stretching over 1,143 kilometers, is Indonesia's longest and most vital river. The history of the Kapuas River originated from the Mueller mountain range at the center of the island and flow west into the South China Sea and creating the extended Marsi Delta. The delta is located in west-southwest of Pontianak, the capital of the West Kalimantan province. But today we're gonna discuss about the pollution and deforestation and the people depending on the river itself. Let's dive into the what happened to the dire impacts in Kapuas River. Okay, so joining us first is Renata and the environmental scientist studying the river ecosystem in Borneo. So, what's the current status of Kapuas River?
Good evening. I am Dr. Renata, an environmental scientist, and the Kapuas River currently is in trouble. In 2023, over 30,000 hectares of surrounding forests were cleared, mainly for logging and palm oil. This causes erosion, sedimentation, and habitat loss. A more worrying and recent case is illegal gold mining, which introduces mercury into the river. This has been an ongoing problem since January of 2025. In some areas, levels are 4 times the safe limit recommended by the World Health Organization. Mercury poisons fish, water, and people, and this river has been a water source for thousands of residents along the Kapuas River. The mining activity that polluted the iconic river of West Kalimantan used a modified diesel car engine to suck up sand to extract the gold.
Okay, so how have these activities worsened the pollution in Kapuas River?
12 palm oil factories and urban wastes from Pontianak contribute to the rising toxicity, with only 60% of waste being properly managed. Untreated garbage also flows directly into the river.
And also, how does the problem affected the residents around?
In March 2025, there was a heavy flood that impacted 33 villages in 7 sub-districts. The flood was reported to be as high as 1.5 meters, and the Kapuas Hulu Regional Disaster Management Agency recorded that around 6,000 families or around 16,000 people were affected by this disaster. The sudden flood made residents unable to save their belongings. This was an effect of the mud and waste from the machinery, making the water murky. As a result, flooding has been more frequent in the area.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Renata, for sharing your insider info. And to understand how this affected in daily life, I will speak to Mr. Rafa, the fisherman who depends on Kapuas River.
Good evening, Mr. Billy. So I am a fisherman in this river. I have fished this river for 25 years. But these days, the water looks so muddy and sometimes oily. We used to catch like 10 to 12 kilograms of fish a day. But now we're lucky to get 4 or 5. Some are deformed or dying. And our health, my son had a rash from washing in the river. The local clinic says more kids have stomach problems, probably from the water.
Okay, understood, Mr. Rafa. So for the support system, are they in place or not?
Well, there are some, but it's not enough. We need clean water, better tools, or training for new jobs. We've been asking authorities for help for years, but they haven't done anything. We suspect there's higher ups backing up the activity. That's why it's so hard to control.
Okay, but have you faced any environmental effects from the illegal activities that happening around the river?
Well, these days lately, there's been more floodings. I've heard from other villages near the river had taken a hit too. The sudden floodings also made it hard to evacuate and save most of our belongings. I'm worried for the safety of my family, having to constantly be around dirty water.
Okay, so Mr. Rafa, do you have any final words? Would you like to share?
Of course, so for us residents around the river, we ask for help from the law enforcement. If left unchecked, The Kapuas River will be completely destroyed. We ask for real actions, not fake promises. Thank you, Mr. Bill.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rafa, for sharing your POV for this issue. And moving on, we have Ms. Zharfa from the Ministry of Environment now joining us. Could you please elaborate what law this illegal activities violate?
All right, good evening, Mr. Billy. So regarding the illegal mining, there are actually some laws regarding that. There are illegal mining perpetrators. They can be charged under the law number 3 of 2020 of amendments to law number 4 of 2008 of mining and minerals and coal, as well as law 32 of 1999 of environmental management or PPLH. In Article 60 of the PPLH law, everyone is prohibited from dumping or disposing of waste and or materials into environmental media without a permit. Also in Article 104 of the PPLH law, anyone who dumps waste and or materials into environmental media without a permit, as referred to in Article 60, shall be subject to a maximum imprisonment of 5 years and a maximum fine of 100 billion rupiah. In addition, river pollution due to mercury waste violates Article 98 of Law Number 32 of 2009 concerning environmental protection and management, with a criminal penalty of 10 years in prison and a fine of 10 billion rupiah.
But how has the government tried to enforce this rule?
The government has been testing the done surveillance and building village-level reporting systems because we can manage every single thing, so empowering the locals is the key to this.
But has there been any new update regarding the recent illegal gold mining?
Yes, our investigators have found a suspect that the modified diesel engines used to mine the gold belong to a man with the initials PP and alias IN, a resident of the Sintang Regency, who has been carrying out these activities for the past 3 months. We've also seen videos of illegal mining rafts go viral on social media. Based on an investigation conducted by the media team on Thursday, January 16, 2025, mining activities were still ongoing in the Semerangkai village and Sungai Batu. But however, just 2 days after the video was widely discussed, the raft suddenly disappeared from the location on January 18, 2025. So we suspect that there's been attempts to cover it up after it became public concern. But oddly enough, on January 20, 2025, local media claimed that illegal gold mining in the Kapuas River had not been operating for a long time. This claim immediately sparked controversy because it contradicted the facts on the ground. Photographic evidence, videos, and location coordinates collected by the investigation team showed that illegal gold mining activities were still ongoing until mid-January. So the evidence we have is very clear. Amateur videos show illegal gold mining rafts actively operating. But after video went viral, they suddenly disappeared. So this proves that there was an effort to hide the activity. The existence of these illegal gold mining rafts, which often operate openly, reflects the weak supervision and law enforcement in the area, which we desperately hope to change in the future.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Zharfa, for sharing your info. So, for the analysis, we can see that the Kapuas River is more than just a body of water, but it's a lifeblood of West Kalimantan. It nourishes forests, sustains wildlife, and supports the life of over 3 million people who live along the winding banks of the river. Beyond the environmental devastation lies a human crisis. Families like Pak Rafa aren't just losing their livelihood, but also their futures. Also, his children been bathing on contaminated waters, and fishermen return home empty-handed, and communities brace for the next flood. The fight for the Kapuas River is not just the responsibility of the government, but also the environmentalists around. And the Kapuas River is more than just a body of water, but it's also people depend on it. And the future of West Kalimantan is a symbol of what we stand to lose without change. The story of the Kapuas River is still being written. Whether it becomes one of recovery or ruins depends on what we do next. I'm Billy, and this has been a special report from the news for tonight's show. Thank you for watching and good night.